But finally, on the topic of the future of community banking, over the next 5 to 10 years, how do you see the biggest structural shifts occurring, and how do you think community banks will evolve to meet those challenges in the future? One of the questions that we're asking all of our keynote speakers today is, what does the community bank of 2025 look like?
2025 or 2035?
Oh, sorry, 2035, sorry. I don't have my glasses on. Yes, 2035. It is already 2025.
The ones that make it through the next 10 years will have embraced technology, have embraced financial modernization, and as I said earlier, I think we'll have brought along a whole new generation of young people into the financial world. Because look, there's a whole group just because of the bad calendar. And they lived through the GFC, they lived through COVID, but when I interact with them, they're curious, they want to be part of the system, and it will have been that. And I think that we will see I don't know if the branch model is as big as it was. We'll see with that. But I think it's all going to center around technology. And so that's the importance of low-cost technological alternatives for the next 10 years.
Not just for 2025.
Not just for 2025.
Yeah, I think one of the wonderful experiences that we've seen over the past throughout COVID and the Paycheck Protection Program was that we have an amazing industry of community banks that are willing to bend over backwards to ensure that they can support their communities. And I look forward to seeing, hopefully we won't have another experience like COVID where we're asking banks to be, the sole provider of fiscal support or loans for their small businesses to keep their economies running and people employed. But I think it's a wonderful recognition of everything that community banks have done over the past at least 5 years to keep our economy running, to keep our people employed in rural communities and in urban communities as well. But thank you for the support that you've provided.
Yeah, and I think that the other big opportunity is going to be what I saw in the local market in Charleston, South Carolina, was when Boeing came in. Boeing doesn't need, other than people in this building, they don't need to bank with anyone in this room. But when Boeing's second largest production facility came in, there was an ecosystem of more than 200 small factories that sprung up. And the small and community banks, some of the small regionals all moved into Charleston, and they bank every one of those small factories. Some of the factories, some of these startup businesses that have 50, 100, 200 employees. So with this administration's effort to bring manufacturing back to the U.S., I would say when we see we're talking about bringing back the semiconductor industry, they need 500 companies around them to do that. When we see this precision manufacturing, when you see a multinational company set up, they are going to need a big ecosystem. And the ecosystem, JP Morgan's not interested in the ecosystem, and I think everybody in this room should be.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for